started. Yeah. We're gonna open up the meeting with a roll call. Bob?
Here.
Lucas?
Here.
Cindy?
Here.
Sean?
Here.
Justin is here. We are in the room. Holly?
Here.
Andy? Holly and Andy are on Zoom. Okay. We're gonna jump in with the agenda. As far as our minutes go, did you get your computer issue sorted?
Still working on recovering my files.
Okay.
I will have them, but it's just taking me some time.
Okay. So then going forward, I'm gonna keep the minutes off, but we need to keep track of,
Yes.
I think we need to do November and today.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And then for trustees, it was, I think September, October, and January.
Okay.
Okay. So there will be no approval of minutes today until we get that sorted out. I have the committee calendar here. I printed off a copy of it. We do not have to do this necessarily right now. What I'd like to do is have everybody, if you're in the room and you know kind of when you want to do things, that's fine. I'll pass this around. I'd like to start writing down timeframes for our events, because I'd like this to go out on our website somehow. We can talk that, Bob, on however we want to get it out. But I want to make sure that this event calendar is going out for everyone. The Post and the Legion can view it, town can view it. You know, this will help us stay organized and make sure everybody knows what we have going on. Some of the things that I know that we've decided that we're going to continue to do every year: food drives, meet and greets, national night out. We need to talk the kids deployment line as well. The Jim Gallagher Memorial Walk Run event. We have the Memorial Day Parade, the 4th of July Parade, Veterans Day events, and then whatever else we decide to do as a committee this year. So if you're online and you have thoughts, you know, we have, so for example, Andy, Gold Star Mothers, you know, let's, let me write that down.
It'll be September 29th.
Yep, let's just put it all in an email and just send it to me. And then, like I said, if you're here and you've got some ideas on when we want to do it, just go ahead and write it down. If we don't have an exact date yet, that's fine. Just kind of put a time frame, like, hey, I'm going to shoot for this month. But this is what I'm going to use to start building the agenda as we move forward. The next thing that I want to talk about is establishing a Google Drive. I've got a lot of information that's either through the 4th of July Parade, VAC, or trustees, and it's all right now just living on my computer. So I want to establish a Google Drive where I'm sharing that information with the committees, so then we can go in and say, hey, this is where we're going. So things like dedication ceremonies, parade events, everything like that, we can go in and say, hey, here's the information, and we can pull it down. So this year I really want to focus on sharing our information, getting it repeatable, these processes repeatable and things, now that we're more established. So any discussion from the committee members on the event calendar or the Google Drive? No?
So, Stony?
Yep.
Hey, Polly, so just to let you know, if we can block in that the food and toiletry drive will be the whole month of April. So it's gonna be a divide and conquer between all of the churches. I got a huge list from Sean. But say, like the Lady of Hope churches will do toiletries and the other churches will do food.
Okay. Are we only gonna do one this year?
No, it's going to, let me think about the next one. I'll put it
Yep.
either in the chat. So, sorry.
Yeah, no worries, no worries. Perfect. Okay. I wanted to breeze through those agenda items so we can move on to the open floor discussion. We have members from the Legion and the Post here. Carmen, we have your beautiful mug online staring at us on the big screen TV right now.
I can shut it off.
Then what will we have to look at?
Nice.
So I just want to open up the floor discussion. First off, saying, last year did a lot. We worked together with the Memorial Day parade. You invited us to the Veterans Day event, which was great. We did the comedy night at the Carmen at your place. So want to continue to build on that. I think as we're moving along, we're working to get closer and closer, and I'm really glad for that. So thank y'all for your support with our committee and everything that y'all been doing to help us out. We want to continue to support y'all going forward as well. But with that, I'll open the floor to y'all. See what y'all want to talk about.
All right, as far as the comedy night goes, like I told you after the night you had it there, I mean, it's something to build on. And we're certainly there for you again, if you want to use that facility.
Oh yeah.
It's there for you, for the use to do that. And I thought it was pretty successful last time. And I think you wouldn't have a hard time filling the room again if you wanted to.
Yeah.
So you just, you just need to coordinate that with me or the bar manager to make sure that the nights work, the dates that you want to do it on, that's all.
Okay. Yeah, we'll definitely do that. And I think Sean had brought up, you're giving me that weird look like,
No,
did
no.
I? No. We did talk about right afterwards that it was I wasn't expecting that many people. So it was really nice, and I thought it went really well. So I think it's something that we definitely want to consider maybe doing again. And we'll see. Maybe something else besides a comedy night as well. If anybody has any ideas.
My thought was to try to not make it annual, make it either semi-annual or at least 3 times a year, do something, pending, availability of the space, and then coordinating it with some kind of an event, be it Valentine's Day or something to that effect, where we could get possible attendance.
At the present time, our room is pretty available because we're only renting the facility out to members now. We're not renting it out to birthday parties and baby showers and that kind of stuff. It's pretty much going just to the members of Post. So it's not booked all the time. So your dates are probably wide open for you.
Oh, good.
To do that. And so, just like I said, just check with Jen. Right. And if you have any dates, throw them out to her and she could pencil it in so we don't book something else with it.
Okay.
Now Veterans Day, we do alternate between the VFW and the American Legion. So the American Legion will be hosting this year, just so you guys are tracking on that. But I did hear, pray tell, of Jim Gallagher's Memorial Run. I heard that's also on Veterans Day. Is that correct?
No, we don't have a
All right,
date set for that yet.
Okay, well, that's good. So that takes care of that issue. So I was gonna say it might be hard to divide and conquer.
Yeah.
At that point in time.
It's pretty fair to guess we wouldn't do anything on Veterans Day other than Veterans Day.
Right, so I probably misread that, so thank you for clarifying that.
Yeah.
All right, so that checks it out. Beautiful. So obviously they have the larger facility for entertaining. We do have the center room in the VFW. That is also for rent as well through the town. So I don't think you guys would have a problem doing that there, but it's just a very small venue and parking's limited, but we could always try something there too if you wanted. So
I do. I like there's a little bit more of a formal atmosphere in there, and I would like to do something with that. I don't know.
Yeah, so if you guys have any ideas, please feel free to let us know and we'll try to come up with something. We do still actually rent out for, birthday parties and baby showers and stuff like that too, but Patty Dowd's in charge of that hall right there. So if you call her, she can figure out a date for you.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, and it's mostly used for kind of social party, not dancing.
No, not dancing. There's a lot of break.
You look like
there.
you're a little upset about that.
Getting together, birthday parties and stuff.
Well, and we've got a budget now as well, so if there's things that y'all want to do, we're kind of limited. I can pay for things, I just can't take money in as a committee, and I say I as a committee, I apologize for that. But the committee, we can't take money in. So if there's something that y'all wanna do, and y'all are like, hey, we're gonna host this, maybe we can help with some food. Like, we could pay for the food, and then we just show up, and we have our little sign-up sheet there, and we can pass along information, and we can kind of stay off to the side as well. So that it doesn't also have to be this big event.
Right, it can always be a small little
yeah.
get together, you know, that might be good for, your meet and greets.
Yeah.
That could be a good venue for that, so, you know.
Yeah.
So definitely, we can definitely think about stuff like that.
Sounds good. So the other thing is communication, and I know that there was the dedication ceremonies, the emails didn't go out, or they weren't received.
Yes.
This has kind of been a plague with the committee since we got stood up, where we send out an email and not everybody gets it. I honestly have no idea what's going on. This happens internally as well with the like posting of agendas and things. We send it, and sometimes the clerk office doesn't get it. That's really why I'm pushing for this calendar, and I want it posted.
That would be awesome.
Yeah, and we'll have to get really good at making sure that this is updated, but it'll give a chance if you're like, hey, I think they're doing something like this. I haven't seen any emails or anything come out. You'll be able to go and check this, and then, hey, what's going on? So that's really what drove a lot of this as well.
Good.
So, not trying to hide anything from anybody by no means. Just unfortunately, sometimes I really wish I knew what happened, but.
Oh, yeah, cause I know there was some, people upset about the dedication across the road,
Yeah.
so.
Yeah.
These things happen, but hopefully moving forward, we can,
Yeah.
not deal with that, so.
Yeah, so I apologize for that. That by no means were we trying to eliminate anybody. And if y'all do hear something, and I know you and we didn't have communication
Correct.
before.
So I've opened up those lines with you, which is awesome, and I also have this nice gentleman to my left too to help out, so.
Feel free to email us. If you have any questions, email, phone call, text message,
Yeah.
and we'll share the information.
Very
So if any member isn't, then let me know, because I don't think you're gonna have this issue with any of us.
No, absolutely not.
But that is never our intent with this. The intent is that this is for everybody,
Yeah.
so.
Very good.
So what else?
Well,
Sorry.
Bill Hanley, American Legion and VFW. What are we hearing about the Grafton State Hospital?
That's-
I knew you were gonna ask. So, there's a bit of a complicated story.
Yes, it is.
I'm a little brain fried right now, so I'm gonna try to, if I get lost along the way, please forgive me. But basically, as you know, it's Grafton State Hospital, but it's in Shrewsbury.
Correct.
Jeff Farrell reached out. We have Shrewsbury, who has offered to help clean up by bringing a truck or something like that. But then they realized, well, we don't have the funding for it. So that's kind of where that went, is we pulled together a volunteer team. They'll bring a truck, we clear it out, they have the truck and they dump it. Daryl from the Grafton Cemeteries has also offered to help.
Okay.
So that's the short-term fix. Long-term, it turns out that the state of Massachusetts realized that they weren't taking care of any of these state hospitals. They reached out simultaneously to Daryl and started bringing up all of this. And when Daryl brought that up to us during the last trustees meeting, gave him a litany of questions and told him to go back to that committee and ask, what's the plan? Where are you at? You already should be funding this, so there should be funding there. How do we access that funding and get somebody to start cleaning it up now? So I'm waiting on Daryl to get back with us.
Okay.
Because of that, and Grafton and Shrewsbury and everyone over there, no one really wants to have anything to do with it. those meetings kind of shut down for Jeff. We were gonna have a big meeting and pull everybody together. They all canceled it and they don't wanna reschedule because of this committee and the local issues that we have going on. So the short term is, I spoke to Holly. She works with the Boy Scouts a lot. They have a lot of Eagle Scouts or volunteer hours that they need.
Yeah.
So we talked about using them to help us and to clean it up. We'll come up with the schedule on what that looks like. Grafton and Shrewsbury will help us with trucks and maybe some other things. The long-term fix is this committee that Daryl is working with to figure out what is going on. You have funding, you need to use it.
Okay.
So,
I know Daryl, I'll talk to him.
yep,
I mean, I've been going over there cutting the grass for the last couple of years around where the monument is and so forth, just so we can have Memorial Day over there.
yeah,
And, you know, I've had another veteran with me. We went over there in the fall and we went through it and cut it again, so it would be halfway decent for the winter, after the winter comes. We don't do the whole cemetery, like I said, we're only doing the part where we have the ceremony.
right.
Other than that, but I would like to see, either the scouts or somebody kind of fix the entrance from the street going in. Is kind of, there was wood there, or there was some kind of, pathway, and that is pretty much disintegrated now. So if some Eagle Scout would like to go over there and, whether he gets supplies from Koopmans or wherever, I don't know, but, if they could kinda clean that pathway up, that would be a big help.
Well, I'm of the mindset that our taxes go to cover that, and the state should be funding it. So
Correct.
I'm gonna circle back to Daryl and also get an update on this. And even if they're just like, you know what, we'll give you the funding and we can go out and contract it to get this stuff done. Or we give you the funding and we can have the scouts do a project and they don't have to go to Koopmans, they don't have to go solicit donations. But I think that soliciting donations from Koopmans and things like that, or we can take a look at our budget as well, depending on the materials cost. I think one way or another we can take care of this.
Well, I know.
Hey, Stoney?
Yep.
So just, can I give a quick update what I found out from talking at our committee meeting?
Yeah.
So, the Boy Scouts and at the end of the day, whatever information we put together, Mr. Anderson said he's very interested, but he wants to share it at his next Scoutmaster meeting, which includes 2019, 107, so like more troops.
Right.
The concern is no problem with the scouts doing service project hours on a general like cleanup and anything that won't cost money. Not a problem. So like they can go mow, pull weeds, whatever. Like we have tons of like home equipment that can be used, or volunteer equipment. For an Eagle project, we have to get more information, because if the Eagle does not have a beneficiary to take on liabilities and help fund, that's where the problem comes. So an Eagle Scout project right now, until there is a legal beneficiary, cannot be done. Does that help?
That does. Can the town be a legal beneficiary?
Well, that might
They
be
guess
greater.
yes, it can.
No, they but they have to agree to it. So
Yeah.
it's just planning.
So you
I-
just have to do it at one of the next meetings.
Well, now would
Yeah.
it fall on Shrewsbury or would it fall on Grafton? That's the question.
Right. Well, so there's another piece though, Holly, that you'll need to take back to the scouts. A lot of those grave sites are old.
Right.
So there's not a cement vault or whatever we do now in the ground. So it's a wooden casket. And Daryl is like, sometimes they collapse.
Mm-hmm.
So anything that the scouts do, whenever they do it, we have to make sure that Daryl is out there, because he will help guide in what areas to watch out for.
So that's Daryl specifically, or just anyone from his department?
We'll need to coordinate with Daryl. It'll probably be anybody from his department. He's normally, you talk that department, it's normally Daryl that's gonna show up, so.
Yeah, no, I'm good.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's planning, but I just wanted to let you know that the scouts can definitely help.
Okay,
But Eagle projects, unless a beneficiary agrees to all these paperwork and plans, that could take a little bit more legwork. Over.
I'm sure between Bob and I, we can get the town to be a legal beneficiary. Not too worried about it.
Justin?
Yeah.
Well, look, do you think we could start with a nice flagpole over there instead of the 6-foot one that's there right now? That we put a flag on every year. Maybe we could get a flag over there like the ones we put over at the Indian Cemetery. And maybe we could get Shrewsbury to go half on the price, whatever it costs to put it up or something.
Okay.
Yes, there is, I believe, either 9 or 11 veterans that are buried there, and their marker is a number on a little square cement block.
Okay.
It's 14, Walter,
14, I'm sorry.
14.
Another
Andy's
reason-
got the full list.
I didn't check the numbers.
Bill probably knows this if you've walked the property. If you go to the back of the property, the little blocks that are out there with the numbers on them, they correspond with the numbers that are on the main monument that's there that we clear out.
Right.
But they're actually buried in the back of that lot back there, and their numbers are on those square blocks that are in the ground.
Okay.
And it's real tough to get out there and clean that up because it's the land is uneven and the blocks are sticking up all over the place, and
Yeah.
you go back there with your lawnmower, your blade's not gonna last long because you'll hit them. So it would take some time to clear that all out and make it nice so that you could actually see where the graves are.
Right. Well, and so that's the other piece with this that I think we'd wanna, I mean, I'd hate to say, hey, the scouts are gonna be out there every weekend to keep this, so Bill, to your point, I think it would be, you'd wanna get out there a week or two before Memorial Day, and then at least in the fall, probably before Veterans Day. It's that piece in between, that's the other part. So I think at least at a minimum, we need 2 major cleanups.
Do you think there's any possibility of getting the people at the Job Corps to take over that piece of property?
The Job Corps used to do it.
Right.
Really?
I did.
That's when Charlie Bolak was involved with the Job Corps, but they pretty much looked after it.
You know who I think is at the Job Corps now?
Hey, Stoney, we wanna watch out with the Boy Scouts, doing extra projects in May before Memorial Day. Cause I have them doing cleanup in the cemeteries and the flagstones to make things presentable.
Good to know.
It's generally done 2 weeks before Memorial Day and a weekend.
Okay, so Maureen works at the Grafton Job Corps now.
Maureen Sweet.
So we have an in with the Job Corps now, so I'll ask about that.
Another avenue for possible support in cleaning up that and getting supplies to recreate a new path would be Home Depot. They've actually been doing a lot with veterans lately, a lot of posts, stuff like that. So they're always willing to help. Even Lowe's helps too, but Home Depot I've been hearing a lot of good about lately. So might be good for the scouts to check that out as well.
Yeah, if I could get any kind of funding from the state on this, and then I'm just gonna say we just contract it out and get somebody else to come in and clean it, and then I think that becomes more manageable. The building, the fixing it up, the flagpole and things like that. But for me, the big piece is that cleaning, because as what was said, the stones are uneven. There's safety risk there and all sorts of things. So even if the scouts were in there, I mean, I would want Daryl to. Daryl may say, hey, they don't need to go back to that back area because of however old the graves are.
Right, we don't wanna be disturbing those.
Yeah, I mean, they need to be cleaned, but I wouldn't wanna put that on
Right.
the scouts, you know, yeah,
Yeah, it might be a little traumatizing.
yeah.
Collapsing down
So
upon it.
scout leaders do have to be there, but, I agree, we do have a
Yeah.
very junior force.
Yeah.
Coming in from scouts, but to also caveat for planning, just to let everybody know, the scout month that all scouts are off is August. So if there's any in-between work, August is off the table for scouts, over.
Hey, side note, Holly, can you bring up 4th of July parade, so I can bring it up at the next meeting too?
Yeah, the 4th of July, of course,
Yeah,
4th
alright.
of July.
And Daryl has I thought it was funny, but it's not necessarily funny. He had a story last time about somebody walking over a grave that he shared with us. It was, so I don't want to put that on anybody. What happened? So.
Okay.
So a lot of things to do at the state cemetery. The first step though is I want to hear back from this committee and see what Daryl has come up with, and if Daryl is still they're just kind of dragging their feet, then we'll start pursuing these other options.
Okay, one more question.
Yeah.
How we sit on wreath for Memorial Day?
We ordered a whole bunch of brand new ones.
We did.
I think
And we
we've
used
got
them.
plenty.
Yeah.
Now, what shape are they in now, since they've been in boxes? Some of that stuff was actually real, correct? Live?
No, it was
No?
all fake.
No,
You don't think so?
No.
all fake.
Yeah, it
It's
was
all fake?
When we finish the meeting, we'll show you where they're stored.
Yeah,
Okay, well, I was involved in putting them away, so.
yeah.
But I didn't know they were, I thought some of that stuff was real.
Yeah, the ones we provided were all artificial.
Okay,
Yeah, so wreaths should be good to go.
okay.
Did we get the storage boxes for them, or are they still in the cardboard?
That's a good question. I
We
don't remember.
bought a few boxes, and I think we were going to kind of test the waters to see how many.
Right,
Because
yeah,
the
that's
ones we
right,
got
yeah.
were squat.
Yeah,
You know, so
They're
just.
secure, I think they're currently secure in cardboard boxes.
Yeah.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So we want to get Tupperware so that just to make them last longer, but we just need to circle back on that.
Did we get new stands for those? Sean?
Yes,
You mean from the ones that we used on all the graves last year? All the markers,
Yeah,
rather?
were those new or did you make those?
We made those,
Right,
and we had plenty to do,
Okay.
to do all the markers.
well, it looked good last year.
Thank you.
Yeah, Sean really hooked it up last year with those. So I think we're good. Stands, wreaths. I mean, unless there's more that we need, we had enough. We got extra, right? I think there's a handful of extra ones
Mm-hmm.
of stands and wreaths.
Yeah.
So unless there's a dramatic change of numbers, which if there is, we'll just order more.
Yeah.
But I think we're good for those. So is there anything else that y'all would need for Memorial Day that we should start planning besides the flags? I know Jeff gets the flags for you.
Can you,
I got a flag order in with, Jeff.
Yep.
To talk to the other 3 towns that he supports. They're gonna put in a big order, soon, hopefully, so everyone has their flags pre-Memorial Day.
All right. Made in China flags.
Yeah.
That should-
Unfortunately.
Why? Why? God almighty.
Carmen, you had something else?
I just wanted to see if we could set up a date to do our Memorial Day checklist again like we did last year.
Yeah.
You know, that day comes on us real quick.
Yeah.
Sure does.
You know, it moves real quick, so, because there is a whole, I think did I give you the checklist from last year?
Oh yeah, I've got.
You know, it's
The
got
whole
night
thing.
limousine and who does what, the Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts, and who takes care of the music and getting the people to play taps and all that kind of stuff. So I'd like to make sure we have that all set to go and,
Yeah.
you know, and, the speakers, the prayer people, there's a lot to Memorial Day to get organized, and if we were out ahead of it pretty good last year, but I'd like to even get out ahead of it more.
No, I completely understand. I'm the same way. So let us know when you want to start. And if you want to start with us before everybody, I know sometimes it gets hard to pull everybody in from the Legion and the Post to meet.
Right.
So if you need a meeting with us beforehand, then we can start that early as well. You know, we meet every month. Just let us know and we'll invite you to one of our meetings.
It's always the same people, unfortunately, but
Yeah.
we'll do you want to have the meeting at my post, or do you want to have it at your place there?
Whatever is
It's,
easiest. We'll be flexible. If it's not one of our scheduled meetings, I may not be there. We will have a rep there, but my work schedule is getting crazy. So I'm finding it very hard to do anything outside of what I'm currently supporting.
Okay, so what do you think would be an optimum time to start this? You know, like in the end of March, or
Yeah.
before then? I mean, like I said, it comes on you quick, you know. So
March 20 is the date for March 20, April 17, and then you go to May 15. So around March 20th.
Yeah, March 20th is our next would be our BAC meeting for March. You want to do it then?
well, I don't want to take up the time of your meeting to do just the Memorial Day stuff.
Okay.
If we don't have to. I mean, if you guys, you tell me when you would, you know, like, could be available, and especially Sean and Bill, who are always there to do the wreaths and everything else, so we can coordinate all of that. And Walter, he's crucial in having me plan the Memorial Day thing every year.
Yeah.
As far as speakers go and readers for the prayers and all that kind of stuff. Let me shoot out a date to you, and you tell me if it works for you or
That
not,
works.
and then we can have it at our post, and then I don't have to infringe on your meeting and your agendas.
Okay, yeah, no worries. That works for me. And like I said, even if that date doesn't work for me, you will have somebody there. One of us will support.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, and then the only thing, and like I was talking to Sean last year, is you've got your checklist. I would like to know just exactly, because I wasn't clear last year on what it was that you wanted us to cover. So I just want to know. I want to make sure that I'm clear, and it was on me last year. I was getting really confused, but I want to make sure that
There's a lot to that, and Post 92 takes care of a lot of the stuff, like the limousines and for the color guards to transport them to the cemeteries, and Andy takes care of the Boy Scouts and the Girl Scouts, and so there was a question about sound last year, and again, I think we need to work on sound again this year to make sure that it's good enough for up at the center so that everybody can hear. I think last year was better than the year before, but I think it still could be better than it was. So, I mean, do we start thinking about doing something like Worcester Sound? I mean, I guess they were booked by the time we talked about it last year.
Yeah, we gotta talk to them.
Yeah. Okay, so is Evan buying? Every time I ask him, he tells me he's buying an audio equipment, and then he never does. So is he buying it?
I'm fairly confident in saying there is no audio system.
All right.
But I'll double check.
And then the other thing I'd like to get out nice and early on, hopefully, is, I mean, maybe Jeff can do this, but he tried to get us a flyover.
Yeah, I have tried going through the official way that they always send me to, and then they always
They make you do that now, I think.
Yeah.
But,
So I think if anybody knows anyone, I don't unfortunately have any contacts at any of the bases around here. So if anybody knows anyone at any of those bases, the other thing that we could always see about is the state police. They do flyovers as well. So if we ask early enough, we might be able to get them, but I think they typically go to the bigger cities.
Yeah, I'm sure.
So,
All right, but you have that checklist anyways, don't you? Do you still have the checklist I gave you from last year, just?
yep, yeah, you gave me the whole pack, so I've got everything right here.
Okay, and, and I think did you take care of the school band last year?
I think that was Jeff.
Yeah, I think that was Jeff.
Well, Jeff did that, and,
Yeah.
And the people that would play the taps. And then between Post 92 and the VFW, we'll supply the color guard
Okay.
and the firing party.
Now, if one thing, so I know, in the past, it's been kind of hard to get the select board out there, and then last year we had multiple select board people, and Senator Moore, and Representative Meridian. Do you want to, do we need to talk about changing the flow of the speakers there?
I don't think we need to change the flow of the speakers. The only thing we need to change is me speaking, that's all.
Okay.
But I prefer the town people to address the townspeople up there as opposed to the commander of the American Legion or the VFW or whatever. Let them, once the parade stops, when we get everybody organized and everything like that, then I think it should be the townspeople that take over from that point.
Yeah.
And then, of course, when they're done with that, then we coordinate the firing squad with the band and all the rest of that stuff. And, but I'd like to have some good speakers up there, some selectmen. Dave couldn't make ours last year, but he's been with us almost every year before that, so I'll jump on him real early again. And but he's subject to 4 towns that he's the rep for. So
Mr.
if
Carmen,
we can get David to say something, and if you can get a Senator Moore there, that I don't know him personally, but.
Carmen, so you're effectively the master of ceremonies for the entire event, right?
Right, but I don't wanna be.
But you don't want to be, right, so,
Cause what I'm afraid of is that, once I stop doing what I do, being commander of the post, I'm gonna just kind of drift away here a little bit, and just be
right.
a member down there. So I'm trying to, I started with talking to you last year about how I needed more help because we're gonna need somebody to take over this whole thing.
So do you want us to take over the role of masters of
I wanna try to
ceremony?
make it turnkey, so that there's a format to go by every year. If somebody wants to change the format, they certainly can. But what we have right now seems to work. And, I don't think anybody wants to change the parade route, do they?
No, I think the parade works fine.
So are you interested in us taking over the master of ceremonies so you don't have to do it?
In what regards, Bob, you're talking about? As far as leading things off at the center of town?
Any way that you want us to help support you so that you don't have to do it?
Yeah, I just wanna I'd like the Legion, to be the military part of the parade. And if we had someone, once we get up to the center of town where everything takes place, if someone steps up to the mic and just says, welcome everybody, blah, 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 and now we're gonna hear from, Dave Meridian, or we're gonna hear from, one of the selectmen, and then once we know who it is, and then whoever that person is can keep track of when to, signal the next person to move on to the next part of the ceremony.
Okay.
That's all that needs to be done, and if master of ceremony, I guess, but someone to just kick it off up there.
Yeah. And
then I can, as a commander, I can just stay with my troops and not be the voice.
Okay.
So up there, I think I don't know if I might get long-winded sometimes. I'm not sure.
Well, so what I would.
On top of that, it's a very emotional day for me, by the way. But
yeah,
and it's hard for me to talk about about all of that stuff.
I
So we
understand.
need someone, yeah, we need a new master.
Well, so what I would suggest is maybe this year, you and one of our people, like if you have one of our people shadow you, work together. You know, you don't have to speak, we can still speak, but you can like still stand there and like, hey, all right, you need to think about this now, here, let's get these people going. And then we can pick that up.
Definitely could do that. I mean, I'm looking down the road and the road's coming pretty quick for me, I think.
Right.
But I just, I want to make sure that the town never goes back to where it was many, many years ago when there was probably only 10 people in the parade, you know?
Yeah.
I don't wanna see that happen again. And we seem to get a very good turnout from our town. They're very supportive of the veterans and everything on Memorial Day, so I'd like to keep that going. And plus our venue is absolutely beautiful as far as I'm concerned, with the center common and the marching down that street. That's pretty much like something out of a picture book, you know, so it's wanna keep that going.
Yep. Okay.
Okay?
So yeah, we'll get a person to shadow you and things like that, and yeah, perfect. Did somebody just join?
I think that might be Jeff.
Really? Hey, Jeff, are you on?
I already see, that's what happens to me, I get going here.
No, you're fine. You're fine. Somebody just joined. I'm trying to figure out who just joined us.
Central Mass.
Central Mass Veterans.
Yeah, I think it's Jeff Farrell.
He told me,
Cause he just shot an email that I just got about, he's trying to get on.
Oh, all right. Hey, Jeff, can you hear us? Oh no, he's still connected.
He's still connected.
I have another question, just one more
Yep.
question.
Go ahead.
Last year, we honored Mr. Prout at the Common.
Yes.
I'd like to honor, and how do we go about doing this? John Simpson. He's been marching since 1958. He's another one of the old timers that are there.
I can definitely do that, Bill, no
You-
problem.
You can. All right, great.
It would be my pleasure.
All right, great, cause he's been marching for a long time.
He has, and he's
He's coming to the end.
He's, you know, one of our oldest,
Yeah,
members at the post, you know, along with Bobby Prout. And,
right.
And but we're not gonna let Bobby march this year.
No.
Yeah, right,
Oh, man.
for sure.
Yeah.
So I would just like to honor him.
Kids into letting him march.
Yeah, I know. I would just like to honor John.
So,
He seems to get left out all the time, you know, so.
well, it might behoove us to have those two waiting for us at the center,
Yeah.
instead of having them march.
Well, they don't need to wait
To a
for us.
point.
They need to be in they need to be in one of the cars.
Yeah,
Whatever.
right.
Something like that, yeah, just have them closer to it, perhaps, or easier.
They'll be riding in the parade. They just won't be walking in the parade.
Right.
That's all.
So do you get some kind of a, official, some kind of a reading from Senator Moranian or Senator Moore?
For them,
Yeah,
I
that's how you do
can
that?
actually get a proclamation or a certificate from the American Legion. John's a part of my Legion. And we could recognize him for his years of service as the American Legion and the fact that he's been marching in the Memorial Day Parade in Grafton. We can make up all kinds of different types of paper awards that we can present him with.
What I was
That sounds
thinking,
good.
we might be able to do something, get the town to sign something too, like,
Right.
if we maybe
Exactly.
combine the certificate and you can have the Legion sign or the post sign, and then we could see if the select board would sign as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Maybe is Jeff on the line? Maybe.
Yeah.
he-
Hey guys,
Hi, Jeff.
I'm here.
Jeff, do you know if we can get any kind of an award or, you know, a recognition certificate for a few of our members on Memorial Day
Yeah.
that we read out to the town?
I'm sure the select board could do something, but I can also get the Secretary of Veteran Services from the state to come up with a proclamation as well.
That'd be beautiful.
Yeah,
We just, would need some names, and I don't know if there's a small write-up that they would want, but we can work on, we got plenty of time to work on that with the secretary.
Perfect.
Okay, I'll stop up your office one of these days and I'll give you all the information I have on John and Bob, and present those guys with something.
Great, thank you guys. That's good.
Sean, you had something?
Well, I remember last year, we were trying to get Phil to get in a car, and he was adamant, he's gonna walk, he's gonna
I
march.
remember that.
Bob,
Yeah.
Bob,
Well, I'm sorry.
that's okay.
Yeah, but I feel that if we had a convertible, where they're not in a vehicle, but they're in a car, but they're seen, I think getting a convertible would be easier to say, hey, that's your ride.
Yeah.
So if we know anybody, if we can some way, shape or form, get
Or
an
if
antique
we know
convertible
someone
out
with a
there.
Jeep.
So we have a lot, we have plenty of convertibles.
Might be able to talk
Well,
about it
well,
now.
So that,
Oh, yeah, I don't know how.
What
long.
about the deuce and a half? If we had,
Yep. They'll take one person in the seat, and then they will take a few people in the back if you want them to.
cause we,
But I think he's got some kind of insurance problem with putting people in the back.
Yeah.
right,
And then
But didn't that
not
guy
only
that
that,
you
but
know,
getting them in and out
he had
of the
people in
back
the
of
back.
the truck.
Are we
yeah,
talking
well,
about the same
I was
guy?
thinking if we had like some kind of stairs or something, I mean, I know it's,
It's either that or we go with, not a float per se, but a low trailer decked out. And
That's true.
of course, because the other problem though you have with, if they're sitting on a bench and the vehicle's doing this, as opposed to sitting in a car. I mean, I like the idea of a float and a trailer, or, I shouldn't say trailer, just keep saying float.
Yeah.
Something.
'Cause then they could be sitting in
More
a chair
comfortable.
or something.
Right, but failing that,
I could probably make that happen too. I have a friend that just offered his last year, but he couldn't get it ready.
okay,
It's a low trailer, and he was gonna put some benches in it alongside of it so that they don't jog you all over the place, and put some steps going into it. It's very low too. It's a nice flatbed.
Decorated up.
Now, let me check with Johnny Leofanti, and I'm pretty sure he would like to do that for us.
if not, like Holden Farms, when they do the 4th of July parade, they always do the 4th of July parade and they have low trailers that they pull, and I'm sure that they would support.
I'm sure they would love
not,
that.
I agree with you, but from my point of view, watching the kickoff and the cars, it's a farm trailer, and it's, every time that hitch does this,
It's a Pinto link.
the people in it,
Yeah.
you know, so you don't wanna have people having, like, riding in the subway, hanging onto a rail.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not saying no, I'm just saying you gotta think about.
I think we can take care of that flatbed, and we have plenty of convertibles. There was 3 Corvette convertibles last year in the parade, but I think it was supposed to start raining at any time last year, I think,
Yeah.
Yeah.
for last year's parade.
Yeah, I remember that.
So we were reluctant to put down the tops on the convertibles, but,
Okay,
Alright.
yeah, that's right, somebody I know has a black Corvette, I think.
yeah, it might be me. That's Walter's ride.
Oh,
That's right, that's right.
Yeah, but
Nice.
did you let him drive?
No,
No.
Hey, you know, the other thing, we just get a bunch of golf carts,
Yeah.
decorate all the golf carts and just go.
You know what?
Yeah.
Could probably talk to, what's it
Right,
called?
they rent them.
Yeah,
Maybe we
so,
should make a deal with Highfields.
Yeah.
you know, I don't, Highfields, I've tried
That's
to.
your neighborhood.
It is, but I've tried to get a couple of things from them for the 4th of July parade, and they're pretty adamant about not supporting.
Yeah.
But I mean, that would actually be pretty cool.
That's it, you're absolutely right.
Anyway,
Okay,
all right. Anything else? Anybody else wants to bring up?
I know, Sampson Square has to be rededicated soon. I know we were kinda talking about doing that perhaps last year, and it didn't get done.
I thought it was done.
Yeah, I was told the
So we didn't-
VFW
We
did it.
didn't do an official ceremony there yet. So, cause we were kinda waiting for all the construction to get done, and
Yeah.
then finish up with the stone and all that. So that's something that we'd like to probably get done in the springtime perhaps.
Okay.
So,
But I'll have to talk to Carmen more about
Yep.
that.
so Lucas will be your point of contact for the
I do all the
dedications.
dedications for the town.
Yeah.
Very good, so I'll have to get your number then.
Yeah, we honestly stopped talking about it because I was told that the VFW did it, and I was like, okay,
Because
well,
we were gonna
yeah.
do it when we did
Yeah.
the one over here
Well, I'm glad you did.
and the one
Yeah.
in here.
It wasn't a bad day.
yeah.
Okay.
Not that it would've been bad, but.
No, I
There would've been
understand.
some very upset
But
people.
Simpson Square, that's one that's near.
Right by the fire station,
Yeah.
so.
South
Grafton.
South Grafton.
St. James
I'm not from
Church.
Grafton, so when I
Oh,
say
no worries, so it's where the old cannon was, There's a
I think the
large
kids
stone
did
there
the
right
Boy
along
Scout
too.
stuff there, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
Oh, still
that's what
is,
I,
so,
okay.
Yep,
Yeah, and the other thing is the Veterans Bridge,
that as well.
Where's that at?
the old Blackstone River Bridge
So
Oh.
that's, down the
at
road
the
from the
park,
VFW.
Village Park.
Gotcha,
Where the old mill was right across the way.
yeah.
Is that from the construction that they did on that
was
road,
also the
or?
construction that was postponing that. We did have signs that were made and we were presented with them. But, again, construction on one
Is that the one
twenty-two
next to
A
the
was
restaurant?
kinda keeping everything on hold as well.
Okay.
I know that's been, a hot topic down at the VFW. And, we'd like to try to figure out something for that as well. So,
Oh, yeah.
it would be hard
past
to
the
maybe
post office?
combine both ceremonies at the same time, so we probably have to spread them out.
Oh,
Uh,
yeah,
so
next to
there
the
is that.
Grafton restaurant
So
that's there,
we'll
there's
just
a
have to think
little,
about future dates. I know
Yeah.
huh?
we'll have to talk more about that with Carmen.
Yeah,
But just something for you guys to keep
Gotcha.
in mind, and then I can relay, or me and him both, whatever works easiest.
Okay.
So,
I
I
mean,
know,
that sounds like something that, that Dave Meridian could get involved in.
well, I believe he was involved in it originally. So, but it's been put to the wayside due to all that construction. And now the bridge kinda looks a little bit on the, for lack of better words, worse for wear side. And, there's potholes in it and rebar sticking out of it, so, you know, it's a little tough. Probably could use a good paint job too. But that's a state-owned road, so that's a little bit problematic, but again, Mr. Meridian might be a good avenue to
Well,
approach.
he can go to the state, I mean,
When they
that's a
did that
state road,
South
isn't it?
Street.
It is.
Yeah.
So,
So, we were told, when we first started doing the 4th of July parade, that was actually one of the parade routes we looked at. And, you know, they paved, I just forgot the name of the street. I said South Street, it's not South Street.
Main
Main Street.
Main Street. They paved part of it, and we were told they were supposed to pave Veterans Bridge as well.
they did not. I can promise you, I travel
Oh
that
my
twice a day,
gosh.
and I'm dodging potholes.
Alright.
Is that is the Blackstone Valley Heritage Corridor,
Yeah,
that's 122A.
I'll have to find this,
Okay.
I don't know where this is.
yeah, you go towards, just keep going down Providence Road, and then take
Which
a
way?
right before,
Towards south or?
Towards south.
south. You know that gas station?
Come-
Yeah,
There's-
Cumbies, yeah,
Cumbies.
is that where,
Take a right,
Right at Cumbies.
yep,
Okay.
take a right, and just keep, and then you won't, there's a
Gotcha.
bridge there, right after the bridge, a little park off to the left.
gotcha.
Okay, so a couple of other things actually, which this reminded me, we have the, is it Warren Houghton, Andy? He's gonna yell at me, cause I always get the name wrong. We have a Civil War memorial that we're gonna have, we've been trying to coordinate this with the team that comes in and does this. They don't really respond back to me, they seem to like talking to Andy. So Andy is now gonna coordinate it
Yeah,
for me.
For some reason, Tony, you muted me about 25 minutes ago. I've been trying to come back in. But, it says your host just muted you, so I've been sitting here for 20 minutes listening to you bozos talk, and I can't get one thing.
What happened?
So if you want me to talk, I will, but if you want to leave me unmuted, you can take this whole committee and shove it.
Andy,
Come on.
Mr. Shelburne,
Andy!
Come on.
Come on.
it wasn't intentional. It was not intentional.
You muted me. Your
They're not
host
doing it on
muted me.
purpose.
Why?
It's technology, it's not perfect.
I'll give you friggin' technology.
Yeah.
Alright, look it. I sent to you guys, to Carmen, I sent to Mike, I sent to Justin, I sent to Bob, and I want you guys to talk it among yourselves. I have a plan for this Jay Houghton, grave dedication at Pine Grove Cemetery. Tentatively, May 10, it's a Saturday morning. There's two dates, the 3rd and the 17th are on either side of it. If too many people cannot attend, we'll change the date. Okay? But what they basically want us to do, and I talked to Carmen before, provide a firing squad of about 5 guys and a color guard between the American Legion and VFW posts. Okay? I've talked to Sean, I need his contact for TAPS that we had for, Gold Star Mother's Day. They want the TAPS and they want the TAPS Echo, so the two buglers. The presentation takes about 25 minutes. This group is the Sons of Union, Civil War Veterans out of Worcester, Camp 25, Willie Grout. So they'll run the whole show, we just need to provide some support to them. Lastly, Carmen, I'll need, your post at about noontime on the 10th for a short, meal. I think, the Veterans Advisory will come up with a couple of bucks for me. We'll have, coffee and after this presentation if possible.
All right, Andy, let me just first of all tell you about May 10th. That's not a good date. I have a celebration of life at the post on May 10th, around that time,
Yes.
for one of our fallen soldiers that died recently, and also have the commander of District 4 American Legion is having a fund drive for him. He's going to try to be state commander, and it's at the Paxton Post. So I won't be around for it. Not that that matters for me, but the fact that you might want to use our post that day, that probably can't happen because of the celebration of life.
Can we go down south?
Okay, I can tell them, we kept the 3rd and the 17th open, so discuss amongst yourselves which date would probably be better than others. We wanna send they're going to, they have a program that generates, invitations, formal invitations to, I'll give them the names names and addresses, they'll print them and we'll mail them.
Okay. As far as I know right now, the only day that doesn't work for you to have that room upstairs is the 10th of May. Sorry.
I'd like to try to keep the 17th free because it's getting close to Memorial Day. That might be one of the days when the Boy Scouts will help me clean the Blackstones. So I think what I'll probably do is shoot for May 3rd. Carmen, if you check with your bartender and see if that's open.
Well, hang on, were you trying to?
Well, we could also use the VFW post as well, if need be, but, ideally it'd be nice to have everybody there, as well as set up a color guard as well as a firing party as well. So, I know post 92, they have the weapons that fire the best. I still have old bolt actions at my post that haven't been used in probably 30 years. So,
Well,
yeah, I mean, I'm feeling brave.
they're looking for 3 to 5 for a firing squad. They want 3 volleys, and they want a color guard.
Well, that's,
They also want to put one of their color guards, their camp flag in with our color guard. They will provide a person with the flag.
alright. Well, that would be nice,
Okay,
but
and
it sounds like the American Legion.
After this, excuse me, I'm sorry.
No worries.
After the ceremony at the cemetery, you want to come back to the Legion? Is that your plan?
Yes, because it's close, Carmen. If I have to send everybody down to South Groton, we'll lose half of them.
That's fine. No,
It's a straight run.
I'm all in on that, Andy. As long as the room's available, that's all.
Okay, check with your bartender, let me know.
I'll let you know what dates. I can tell you right now that the 10th is not available.
Okay. We planned it this afternoon, with, this in mind. We had to put a stake in the ground someplace, so the 3rd and the 17th are open, so I'd like to shoot for the 3rd.
Okay, I'll let you know tomorrow.
Thank you.
Well, just as long as it doesn't affect your plans on the 10th, and like you said, you have that, fun rally, that District 4 commander there who's trying to go up high, because manpower is key. We're gonna need both posts to come together, so as long as that date would work, that's something we'd have to think of too, Andy.
Yeah, what I'm trying to do, Mike, is coordinate between everybody, so one person's talking to everybody so that we maintain continuity on this committee. This thing is scheduled for 11 o'clock. It can be anywhere from 25 to 35 or 40 minutes. And we would probably head to your post, Carmen, by noontime.
Okay,
Alright, so we have a rough idea of what time it is, and we'll sort the day out and confirm that tomorrow.
Yeah.
Look at your personal emails, you have one I just sent tonight, it is the whole plan. And if there's anything else that we need to discuss, I wanna do it now versus later.
Well, we don't have all the variables together, but we might have to talk a little bit later down the road perhaps, once we
Yep.
find out the dates from Carmen.
Okay.
No,
Yeah, we'll keep this on our agenda
Great.
and
Yeah.
board,
Yeah.
so.
Lastly, Stoney, from me anyways, what else we wanna do this year? I talked earlier with this committee and with the soldiers and sailors. I wanna put up a corrections plaque at Veterans Hall that's gonna take care of all of the people from World War I that we do not have names for on the wall. Physical corrections for names that are on the World War II plaque. And I want to enter into discussion with Jeff and a couple other people. Should we consider a plaque for Iraq and Afghanistan war veterans?
Yeah, that was gonna be my next topic to close out this meeting, was just letting them know, so, yeah, we've got a couple of, we're gonna start wrapping our hands around the plaques. Corrections are probably gonna be the first thing, the conversation that we need to have that, Holly, Lucas, and I, as well, so there's Desert Storm,
Correct.
Desert Shield, so we need probably something for that. But then when you get to the 9/11 stuff, it gets really, really
Really does.
shady with how many different operations were going on.
And even still until recently.
Yes, so that's what our conversation was, is do you have an Iraqi freedom, an Afghanistan freedom, enduring Noble Eagle, enduring freedom?
Right.
Like, how do you do that?
That's a tough one.
Yes, so that was gonna take a lot of questions, and we're gonna have to think through that.
I'm not sure, Justin, but on my roster of my people that I have for the post, there's a few that fall under the GW of terrorism, the
Global War on
War
Terrorism.
terrorism people. And that might cover a lot of those, at least 9/11 and on, and on, right?
Yeah,
The global war.
it's
Till 13, roughly.
yeah, because then that had a deadline as well when it ended, and then it went on. And some people they are adamant. I was Afghanistan. I was Iraq. So.
Right.
Hey, guys, can I chime in for a
Yes,
second?
yes, please. What is everybody else doing?
I can run rosters through the military records,
Yep.
but I had talked to Congressman McGovern's office. The global war on terrorism is still ongoing.
Okay.
Kind of the general consensus is sometime down the line, the evacuation of Afghanistan might be the end of it, but like I think Justin, you said, there's so many operations that are still considered tied to the global war. It might go on for another 20 years. We're just not in the ground anywhere.
So I think what I'm thinking is it may be one plaque or one area with names, but I think it's that central plaque that explains it. That's what we got to get our hands wrapped around.
Yeah.
And it could just be you list them, and maybe we just list the big ones. But 20 years from now, somebody's going to be upset with that.
Well, that's
So that's why I want to make sure that we have something that we can come up together and we say, hey, we thought through it. This was the best that we had at the time. So corrections, Desert Shield, Desert Storm are the main priority right now. The one Global War, little nebulous, but I think Corrections and Desert Shield, Desert Storm are gonna take a little bit. And the other thing with these plaques is, you know, we need to push out the request for information, and then you gotta let it sit. I've heard a year. I don't know if there's, you know,
At least a year, because a lot of people have moved out of town since they served.
yeah. So, you know, so this isn't something that we are going to quick turn. So just to throw that out there, let y'all know that this is coming. We'll be asking for names, rosters, and all that kind of stuff as well. But that is it. A little bit past our time. Apologize for that. But just any last minute questions, comments?
One last comment. Jeff, go ahead.
So, I was just gonna say, we have our other veteran agent in place. His name's Jonathan. If you're in town hall the next couple weeks, maybe stop by and say hi to him. His schedule, probably after next week, will be Monday and Tuesday in Grafton. So he will, he'll be around and he'll be with me this coming Monday or Wednesday. So he lives in town. He has a close commute.
That helps.
What about the lady? Her name just slipped my mind. Ashley.
So yeah, she resigned in October.
Okay.
So I've been flying by myself. We just went through the hiring process and got Jonathan on board. It was his first week.
Okay. Are you looking to bring on any more, or is it just going to be you and him?
No, the two full-time for the district, I think, that's what's, I would say that's the minimum for our area for the population. It's a good number, but there's the veteran tax work-off. If anybody, wants to get some money off their property tax, we can always find, some work around town hall.
Okay. Perfect. Mike.
So I was saying, I know, just kind of circling back to that state hospital, we do have a resident of the town, Mr. Roulette. He's very knowledgeable of that whole area. He's done extensive research on it. He was a teacher at the Grafton Middle School. I'm not sure if he's still there, but he could be. But he might be very helpful with finding out resources and stuff like that with it as well.
Okay.
So.
All right. I'll get this thing from you after.
Very good.
Awesome. All right. Anything else? Carmen, do you have anything?
No, I'm good. I'm good. Thank you. I'll get that date out to you for the to get together for the Memorial Day, and that's all. And I'll get that date for Andy, and we'll take it from there. And till we meet again, I guess.
All right.
Indeed.
Perfect. So y'all are always welcome. We typically have BAC meetings once a month, and then except for July and December, I'm going to start going to we'll take those months off, and then trustees meetings once a quarter. But I have extra ones, like with this May date, we'll probably have one maybe in March or before. So the trustees kind of vary based off of what we've got going on, but the normal schedule is once a quarter. So
very good.
just to let y'all know.
Tony, one thing with regard to your Memorial Day parade, last year with like Carmen's comment, people couldn't hear in the back of the 3 or 4 deep in the common. What's the chance of putting a speaker on the inside of the common facing the back of the crowd so the people in the back can hear it?
It has to do with the speaker system that the town has.
Okay.
It's not, it's good for inside, but not outside. And every year we keep getting told that they're buying a new one and then it never gets bought. So that's why we were talking about maybe looking at Worcester Sound.
That's a town joke.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, committee members, y'all have anything?
Motion to adjourn.
I have a motion to adjourn. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second. All right. Motion will carry out by roll call vote. Bob?
Yes.
Lucas?
Yes.
Cindy?
Yes.
Holly? Motion
Yes.
to adjourn. Andy?
Yes.
Sean?
Yes.
Justin, aye. This meeting is adjourned. See y'all next month, February 20th at 7 o'clock.